Welcome to the latest installment of the Run to Daylight podcast. I'm your host, Todd Burrows, and I am found at Bestball NFL. And we are believing that we are going to take down some big money this year playing best ball. Really cool new feature with StreamYard where you can pause. And so this podcast, I've got the one pick in a draft. So obviously there's a ton of filler time, and without a guest, it's hard to do. So I'm going to work a little bit, and then I'm going to pause so that you guys are not listening to me fill airtime. So let me know if you like the way this works. I'll be doing a live FFPC draft. I'm Todd from PA 44 from the one spot. I'm going to start with Travis Kelce. I'm low on Kelce. I've got a decent amount of both JJ and Chase. So this is going to be my dedicated Kelce draft. I'm under because I'm not on Kelce as much as some of the other people. But in FFPC, 1.5 per catch, being too low on him is not a very good idea. So that's it. I will be back for the first pick in a couple minutes. But first, I want to say, since it is an FFPC draft, this draft is by my friends over at the FFPC, and they do best ball tournaments. They have two prizes of $1 million in both the Fantasy Pros Championship and the main event. I'll be doing 3 more main events for a total of 4. And the best ball tournament, obviously, you guys know that I love that. It's my favorite tournament out there. Between me and partners, I'll have over 100 drafts between early best ball and regular best ball on the FFPC. You can go to myffpc.com, the home of champions, myffpc.com, sign up for an account. And if you want to play $125 best ball, quite likely you will see me in the room. All right. I will be back in a minute. All right. We are back, and we are getting ready for the first pick. So what I'm going to do is I will make the first pick, which is Kelce, and then I will fill the queue for the next pick, and you'll get to see who I'm looking at there. And then we will pause again, and I'll come back on when I'm about 3-4 picks away, and we will do that throughout the draft. All right. So as you can see, the draft is about to start.
Now you are on the clock.
So we've got Kelce, and then I need 25 names. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bijan, Diggs, Lamb, Chubb, Amon-Ra, Barkley, A.J. Brown, Pollard, Devontae Adams. So it's really hard to differentiate yourself. I really don't like the first pick in these drafts. I don't like the first 3 or 4 spots right now. I like later in the draft. All right, so Hurts is 24. Probably not going to take him. Josh Allen I'll consider. Ridley I'll consider. And is there anyone later that I want? Well, there really isn't. So that will get you 21 picks. That should be enough. And I will see you guys in a bit. All right, welcome back. You see, I am a couple picks away. Mahomes is on the board. That would obviously be a no-brainer. Waddle and Olave would both be no-brainers for me. So Keenan Allen at 2.9. Wow. So I'm going to get one of my 3 people that I really want. I need one more, I won't say bad pick, but unexpected pick.
You are up next.
For me to get some, and there goes T. Higgins. So I'm locked in with 2 of the 3 guys
now
I like.
You are on the clock.
And I get my choice. So I'm going to take Mahomes. That's
Now
easy.
you are on the clock.
And you won't see this, but I'm quickly going over to check my exposure. 15% Waddle, 10% Olave. So I like Waddle more than Olave. And one of the questions I ask myself is, do I like him more than the difference between the two? And the answer is yes. I have enough Olave, and it's harder to get Waddle, especially this late. Waddle is the pick. So now my team is Mahomes, Waddle, and Kelsey. I would love to get a Baltimore piece and a Cincinnati piece to go with this, but I don't mind missing out on Higgins for Waddle. So from a couple perspectives. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I don't want Jerry Jeudy. I don't want Fields because you'll see when I get close to the end, the guys much earlier are probably going to go. I'll add Hopkins. I don't have a running back yet. So Walker is in the mix. I've got a tight end. Do I want double tight end? Well, I mean, Pitts would be in consideration, not Goddard. London would be in consideration. Damian Pierce would be in consideration. Mike Williams would be in consideration. And that's about it. So I have way more people than I need for the next two picks. And that is going to do it for the next few minutes for me. But for you, it will seem like just a second as I come back. So I'm not going to do this every round. I'll just come back and say I'm back. But that is what we're doing. And I think this is a lot of fun. Welcome back. We're still a few picks away. I wanted to explain something that I talk about a lot, which is knowing where the value and lack of value is positionally on draft boards. So 0 running back was really viable for a while, up until a week or two ago. And not that it's not as viable, but with guys like Tajay Spears, Roshan Johnson, just a bunch of the guys who were available in the 12th to 18th round of drafts, moving up a couple rounds. Gainwell's moved up. Just going through running backs. Let's see. Cook has gone up. James Cook has moved up. Bigsby has moved up. Jaylen Warren has moved up. So it puts more pressure on you to get running backs. Now, but when one group gets pushed up, another gets pushed down. So I'm finding rookie wide receivers late that I think could have a good role and some pretty good upside. So where I normally would come out of this turn thinking I'm only going to take one running back and a wide receiver, now I'm going to take 2 running backs if they're 2 that I like, unless I think there's a wide receiver that's a great deal. So Ramondre's still on the board. I don't think he'll make it to me. I love Ramondre. Unless some news has come out in the last second that I don't know about, which I will, just to be safe. And I was looking on Twitter not that long ago. Yeah, it doesn't look like much. Zeke is going to be involved. Joe Mixon's a guy I have not been taking. If he falls, however, this is the perfect opportunity to take him, as his ADP is 33. If he makes it to me at 48, and I've got the correlation week 17 with Mahomes and Kelsey, that becomes a no-brainer. I will also quickly do a Joe Mixon search, make sure he hasn't done anything in the last 15 minutes that make make you not want to draft it. So there must be a lot of. Well, I'll get to the draft board after one of these as we get a little further down. I don't see too many terrible picks in here as to why these guys are falling, but they are. And right now, I need one more pick.
You are up next.
There goes Ramondre. So now I might not get either. If that happens, I mean, I've got a lot of Dameon Pierce. I don't need to reach for him. Joe Burrow, I'm not going to take because I've got Mahomes, even though I would like a correlation. That makes no sense. I think Mixon's going to go here. I'm going to quickly look at the draft board. You won't see it because I've got it locked on the one screen. This guy had,
now
and
you
he
are
took
on the
Mixon.
clock.
Son of a bitch. That's so frustrating when you got two guys that you really would like on a team and you're 3 picks away and they both go. But when their ADPs are so far ahead, so I'm not a big Aaron Jones guy this year. I like Nuck. I mean, the only thing, I could go Walker and I could go Pierce. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Pierce, who I feel better about than Walker lately. Although, hold on, let's see how much I have. I'm really getting up there with Pierce. I've got, wrong Pierce, of course, comes up.
15 seconds left.
19. Shit. Boom, boom. All right, I'm just going to take Pierce.
Now you are on the clock.
Let's look at Walker. Got 11% Walker. I should get 2 good running backs coming back. I'm going to go with the double tight end here and go with Pitts to go with Kelsey. I think that's a really good bet. I've been doing more double tight ends early, kind of a Connor O'Driscoll thing that I agree with, and I feel like I hadn't been doing it enough. So I'll be chasing wide receiver and running back a little bit. So now I got to fill the queue. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have 14, Cook 15, Dobbins 16, Rashad White 17. So you can see there's a lot of running backs. Connor 18, Sanders 19, Akers 20, Lockett 21, Pickens 22, Kamara 23, Montgomery 24, like Dotson 25. All right, so I've got plenty of names for the next setup, and I will see you guys in a few seconds for you. All right, we are now ready for the 6th and 7th round pick. You remember I am weak at both running back and wide receiver, which means that I'm, most likely going to really push QB2 on a team like this. This is the kind of thing you want to start thinking about early to get it in your head, especially when you're doing a live draft. There goes Tyler Lockett, someone I would have been interested in. McLaurin is near the top of the queue. Let me move him down. Pickens would be a pick. If he makes it, I'm taking Pickens. I need both positions. I think Sanders has gone a little bit later than he should lately. I like Dobbins. And it's just wide receivers. Running backs. So this is a good spot to get 2 of them. Oh, there goes Pickens. So I am looking at 2 running backs, most likely. Definitely not quarterback. I guess Mike Evans would be a consideration. Gabe Davis would be a consideration. I don't have a lot of Gabe Davis. Hollywood Brown, Pittman, Cooks. All right. So I like Gabe more than Rashad White or Connor or Akers. McLaurin, let me look up the latest on his injury.
You are up next.
because I've heard that it could be a while. Yeah, I'm not going to take him. Not here. I get the advantage of doing it, but did Dotson go already? Yeah, he went already because of the McLaurin stuff. I would love Sanders and the way it's been going with my running backs.
Now you are on the clock.
So Dobbins went, who I would have taken. I definitely am good with Sanders here.
Now
So let
you
me
are on the
take
clock.
him. And I mean, this team could really use some juice. Gabe Davis would give me juice. I know I could, let's see, 24 picks away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Running back, there's more wide receivers here than running backs that I like. I do like the idea of Gabe Davis. I have so much P. Ryan and not a ton of Javonte. I'm going to go with Kamara. I think that Kamara is a third running back. Yeah, I missed the 3 games, and I'm already a little weak, at running back, but I'll be okay at running back. I mean, Kamara could really spruce up this. If we start seeing the old Alvin Kamara, he could really spruce up this running back room. And that's the chance I'm willing to take to try and take down $200,000. So, all right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Watson 6, Swift 7, and Jigba 8, Gabe 9, Marquise Brown 10, Pacheco 11, Dalvin 12, Addison 13, Pittman 14, Cooks 15. Njoku 16, although I'm not going to take him. I've got Waddle, so 2 of 17. Probably not going to take him, but I got to at least consider him. Herbert 18. I might have lost count. I got plenty. All right, so I like Sky. I like Brian Robinson. I'm not going to take Cousins. I'm not going to take Quentin in this build, or Dylan or Dak. Sutton, absolutely will consider. Kincaid, no, not in this build. Elijah Moore, yes. Charbonnet, yes. Michael Thomas, no. Richardson, no. Burks, no. P. Ryan. I should have enough names in here for this next pick. Yeah. All right. So 5 or 6 picks to go. Sky Moore just went, who would have been a no-brainer with this build. I now have 3 running backs and 1 wide receiver. So I don't mind double tapping wide receiver here. I don't mind taking my 4th running back here. But the wide receiver drop-off is going to get pretty steep pretty soon. But remember, with Pitts and Kelsey, I'm counting most weeks on one of my tight ends being a flex. So going to be interesting. So I like Tony when he drops, but not as a second wide receiver or even a third. So he is not someone I'm considering here. I like Pacheco, but he doesn't make sense in this build. I'm going to move him down. I'm going to move Elijah Moore up. I'm going to move Sutton up. All right, so that's not enough with these many picks away. I mean, Tua would be such a luxury pick with only one wide receiver. I don't think I could do that. So, it would have been nice to have gotten 1 wide receiver last time. This is the lowest amount of wide receivers that I've had this late. Michael Thomas, not a guy I normally draft, but I've got Kamara, and if I get Thomas, then Carr is certainly available. I can't imagine Treylon Burks making sense, or or Tony or Dubs. Bateman with the injury, can't push him up. Juju does nothing for me. Nico Collins is a guy I would move up out of desperation. So let's see where we're at. I hope I can get at least one of these guys. And there goes Pacheco. So, I want to see Njoku go here. I want to see Tua go
You are
here.
up next.
And there goes Njoku. If I could get Tua to go.
Now you are on the clock.
Cousins, beautiful. So two of the wide receivers I really like here. Elijah Moore, Cleveland will go with a Jet later. Sutton, Denver would go with a Charger later. So not ideal for that kind of thing, but at this point, I'm just looking
Now
to get
you are on the clock.
good wide receivers on the team, and I feel that I've done okay. I could have gone with Quinton and Sutton, but I like Quinton long term. I don't know about short term. So there's that. Tua just, where did Tua go? Oh, he's right on top of the queue. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, Dak 5. I'm not going to take Dak. So as you see, the later I go, Charbonnet 6, Thomas 7, Schultz 8. I'm not going to put in Richardson 9. I will put Burks in 10. No Daniel Jones 11. No Geno Smith 12. No Higbee 13. Tony 14. Dubs 15. McKinnon 16. Penny 17. No Rodgers 18. Bigsby 19. Bateman 20. Warren 21. No Goff. No Okonkwo, even though I like him. So Juju, I'll put in. Nico, who I already was willing to move up. Gainwell, Jacoby Myers, Beckham. Yeah, so you look further down as you get further down. And I got plenty of names. I should be able to continue it. So right now I've got one quarterback, 1, 2, 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 2 stud tight ends. And that's where we're at for right now. This draft is moving fast. You guys aren't getting the sense of it. But it is now 2:35 and we started at 2 and we're almost halfway through. All right. Coming up on 10, 12, and 11, 1. So now I'm a lot more balanced. I'm more looking at best players available. I would like to stay even with running back and wide receiver. Carr is someone maybe next time I would look at with Kamara. Russ is someone I would consider possibly, but I mean, I really think I mean, there's enough guys I really like in here at running back and at wide receiver that I'm most likely going to go that way. And there goes Romeo Dubs, who I had just thought to myself, maybe a Dub share, come back with Love as my second quarterback. I would love Nico Collins, McKinnon. We have the stack. I don't have a lot of McKinnon, so it's a decent opportunity to get some. I like Kenny Gainwell. I like Jacoby Myers, and I like Odell Beckham. Beckham's been healthy. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's still, according to Matt Harmon,
You
gets
are up
open
next.
at a pretty elite weight. I'm glad A.J. Dillon just went. He wasn't on my radar. I probably should go 1-1 here and get.
Now you are on the clock.
And McKinnon went. All right. So that's not the end of the world because ultimately I think Gainwell is a better pick than him. I could go Nico. So let me look up my ownership because I've been adding a good bit of. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take Beckham because of the correlation. It's close enough. I've got Waddle. So now I've got that week 17 correlation at wide receiver.
Now you are on the clock.
And I think Gainwell is a really good choice for the fourth running back for this team. So pretty easy pickings. I like Nico a lot. I've got only 9% of him because I didn't have him early. I have 14% in late. I was a little late to the party. So let's take Gainwell. And so the pod right now is about at 25 minutes. And you guys have seen me pick, 11 of my 20 players. So this is a really cool new feature for StreamYard. All right. Schultz 1, Penny 2, Rogers, I'm not going to draft. Well, if he falls that low, 3. Okonkwo, I would consider that late. 4, Laporta, no. 5, Everett, no. 6, A-Chain, yes. 7, I'm not taking Cole Kmet. Russ, I would consider. 9, Zeke, not really, but okay. 10, 11, Dulcich, 12, Carr, only because I've got somebody there, no there. 13, definitely, yep. 14, Pickett. I don't have anybody. I need more Pickett, though, so I'm going to put him in. So you get to see how I think. Lazard, I mean, I wasn't drafting him, but now he's falling. And Corey Davis is gone. 16, Elijah Mitchell, yes, definitely. 17, Zay Jones. 18, 19, Jordan Love. I don't have a stack, but I'll put him in. I think you could have him with maybe get Musgrove. 20, Roshan. 21, Irv, no. Boyd, 22. We've got that big stack. He would be a good choice here. Musgrove, no. Jameson Williams, no. Why Jameson Williams? No, I'm already weak at wide receiver and running back. I don't want a guy who's going to miss half the year. Purdy, no. Tajay, obviously, if you know me. I've got a ton of Ferguson, but he doesn't fit. Rashi Rice makes a ton of sense here. Rondell goes with Gainwell for week 17. Kendra Miller, Mingo, young wide receiver, yes. Sam Howell, Marvin Mims, I'll put in. So you see I go a lot further. I'll put Chuba in, even though I probably won't. MVS, yes, even though I probably won't. Now I'm really far down there, but I'm adding a lot of extra names. That's fine. All people I'll consider. And that sets us up for my pick to 12 and 13. So far, looking at the team, we still just have Mahomes. I got him a little later than normal, and I got him stacked with Kels. Nothing unique there. But I did put him with Waddle, which is unique. You're not going to see too many Kels, Waddle, Mahomes teams. So I'm less concerned about that. I've got Waddle with Beckham. I don't have any Charger with Denver yet. So you see how I also look at correlation. I want it in my brain. Atlanta has Chicago, so I will consider that. These are the things you want to, especially when you have a draft like this where you have a lot of time. These are the kinds of things you want to consider. All right. So we're a few picks away. Nico is still on the board, which would be amazing. Tajay is moving up, so I am going to move him up. Penny has been in trouble on a weak build that's not a guy I need. Zay Jones is a guy that I would really consider, and Rashi Wright. All right, so those are the guys that I really would consider the most. That's the group that I'm hoping for. Lazard in the 13th. I mean, not terrible. Penny, not terrible. I've got Gainwell, so do I really want to double up on a build like this with 2 from the same team when there's 4? The answer is no. If you're wondering why I'm not more interested in Penny. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm going to get 2 guys that I like a pretty good bit. Excuse me. Tyler Boyd with the stack. Sorry, itchy nose. So, I mean, Boyd and Rashi Rice both make a ton of sense. But that's going to leave me weak at running back because we're just hitting the running back area where running back knocks off. So that brings up a really interesting
You are up
question.
next.
Nico Collins, who I have way ahead
Now
of
you
where
are on the
there
clock.
he goes. But that's the kind of interesting thing. So do I have anyone from Cincinnati? I don't. I have other people that I can get from Kansas City later. So I'm going to go with Boyd.
Now you are on the
and
clock.
then I'm going to go with Tajay Spears, my boy. So that gets me to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide receivers. And, considering I started with an early quarterback, Pierce, Sanders, Kamara, Gainwell, and Spears, not a bad room. Waddle, Elijah Moore, Sutton, Beckham, and Boyd, still a little weak. So what does that mean? Does it mean I don't want a 6th running back next time? Maybe not, no. But I got to start thinking about my 2nd quarterback, possibly a 3rd. So running back right now is in a better position. I'm going to take a 6th at least, but when, I don't know. So Penny, no, even though he's in there. A-Chain's in there. Dulcich is in there. Lazard, Love, Roshan is in there. Jameson Williams, now I'll put him in. Jeff Wilson, no. Jake Ferguson, yes. Mooney, yes. Ferguson. Mooney makes sense because Ferguson's such a good value if he makes it back. I'll put him in. Stafford, you can stack late, so I'll put him in. Rondell might be by the time they trade away all their players, Rondell might be the one. Zamir, no. Kendra Miller, no. Mingo, yes. If I didn't Howell, I think I have Howell in there. No, but I do now. Hunter Henry, Conklin, Osborne, Knox, Bryce Young, Kyler, Hayden Hurst, DJ Chark, Chuba Hubbard, MVS, definitely. I didn't get Rashee Rice. I don't love MVS, but he fits this build. Keep going down. Anyone that I really like way down here. All right, I'm pretty far down and I don't love anyone. So might do something really interesting at 2nd and 3rd quarterback here. But we'll be back in a second with that discussion. All right. So a lot of guys I wanted have gone. I threw a couple extra guys in the queue. A quarterback, especially if you look over here, has gotten pretty dangerously thin. So I've got Kyle Pitts. So Desmond Ridder is a reasonable pick as a 2nd quarterback. I think he is likely to be one of the picks here. I don't think I could risk going another 24 picks and seeing if it thins out completely and having no 2nd quarterback who's actually planning on starting the season. There goes MVS. That hurt. Should I push up Richie James? I mean, could he make it back? He could. Justin Ross, Richie James. I like James more than Ross as far as getting playing time. But I still need people. So Rondell Moore is a good value here. He goes with Gainwell. So he's the number 1 guy. I mean, A-Chain's fallen too far. But at this point, I've got too many holes to take value. And I've got, so, I mean, do I want to take a chance that Ridder makes another 24 picks? And if he doesn't, who am I going to be looking at? Mac Jones? I guess that's okay. Tannehill might make it back. I mean, I guess I could push it. To take A-Chain. We already talked about that. I'm pretty good at running back. But A-Chain is such a value here. I mean, this is the 14-12. And when I look at the ADP board, you guys aren't seeing it, but I've got all this stuff open. A-Chain goes in the 12th round normally. And I know Jonathan Taylor might make it there, but if anyone's going to be the change of pace back, I would think it would be
Now
A-Chain.
you are on the clock.
And of course, there he goes. So I don't have to think about it. So Rondell also went. So there's nobody here I like enough to pass on Ritter. So I'm going to
Now
take him.
you are on the clock.
So Ritter's my second quarterback. I need a wide receiver. I need someone I can trust to give me some points, which dings Jalen Hyatt a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I guess I could look at tight ends at this point. A third tight end, there's nobody really that jumps out at me. Wide receiver, did I miss anyone? I mean, Osborne's going to be on the field. Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup's a good pick. DPJ's a decent pick. I like Tank Dell a lot. Oh, boy. All right, Dallas, do I have anyone from Detroit? I don't. Nobody from Detroit. Green Bay, do I have anyone from
left.
Minnesota? No. I'm going to take Gallup. All right, so 1, 2 quarterbacks. Weak at second quarterback, but that's okay. With Mahomes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide receivers. Feel better about wide receiver now. So I feel pretty balanced. So it really now is about correlations, value, players that I like. Jefferson is not a favorite of mine, but I'll put him in. Hyatt obviously was already in. Tank Dell I like. Alec Pierce. Samuel, solid floor. Renfro, solid floor. I like Shaheed. I like Michael Wilson. I like Slayton. Justin Ross, because I've got Mahomes. We've already added Richie James. Every time I tried to add to my stack of Chiefs to be unique, I got kind of sniped. And they all were going early, too. Tillman, Deontay Hardy. No one else for the next pick at wide receiver. And you see, I like to look more positionally. I mean, this team could be fine with Kelsey and Pitts. I also am fine with taking someone if I really like them. I think Knox is interesting. Hurst didn't play as much in the last one. I like Isaiah Likely. Jelani Woods has really fallen. Running back. Zamir White, certainly at this point. Jerome Ford. Ty Chandler. Kyron Williams. Josh Kelly could be that Charger that I had been looking at. Did he literally just go? He just went. Isn't that weird how often that happens? Ingram could be the guy who goes with the Philly guy I needed. Evan Hull is very interesting at running back. Sean Tucker is very interesting at running back. So you see that you've started to get to the point where there's some really good late running backs again. They're speculative, but they're good. All right. Zipping along. I've put some of the guys that I like the most near the top. I like Sean Tucker. I wanted to start taking him earlier, and I never got around to it. I guess Tank Dell also, and DPJ. I mean, there's some really good wide receivers left. I like Isaiah Likely. But I feel like, and there's some quarterbacks left too. Tannehill, do I have anyone from Tennessee? I have Tajay. Mac Jones, New England, nobody. Stroud, Houston. I mean, I could take Stroud and Dell if they're there. Do I really need to? I have kind of another idea. And since I'm recording this, I can tell you what the idea is. Taking Taylor Heineke at 19-1 to go with Ritter. I think Heineke is a really interesting guy. But I definitely want another Chief if I can get one. I like Rashid Shaheed a lot. There goes Justin Ross. So the chance, based on this draft, what do you think the chances are Richie James makes it back to me? Probably not as much as I would like. Would Sean Tucker make it back? He probably will. If not, I like Evan Hull. Zamir, I've cooled on a little bit, but certainly a good choice. I like Trevion Williams or Chris Evans. Another Bengal who might be playing week 17.
You are up next.
So there goes Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo.
Now you are on the clock.
Hey, Richie James made it for me and Stroud didn't. So real easy. So Richie James.
Now you are on the clock.
And that leaves me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. I've still got 2 tight ends. I could go Isaiah Likely. This is a real upside team. And if Likely plays week 17, boom. I feel like I'm strong enough now at wide receiver. I'm strong enough at running back. I'm a little weak at quarterback, but I could go Tannehill if he makes it back, Mack if he makes it back, or Heineke. I'm going to take Isaiah Likely. And then let's go through this again. We'll put Tannehill in. We'll put Mac Jones in. I'm not putting Baker Mayfield in. I'm not putting any other backup in other than Taylor Heineke. Go to running back. I've cooled on Deneric Prince. Travion. I still think push comes to shove. He's the second guy in Cincinnati. And as Chris Evans, I'll put in also. I don't have any Chris Evans. I ultimately think he's just a third down back, and if Mixon goes down, you want the guy who is not just the third down back. I like Josh Downs. I like Evan Hull, who's already in there. I like Puka. Mac Hollins goes with my Atlanta stack. Claypool, it comes back with my Atlanta stack. I think I got plenty of names for the 19th round, but I guess I'll keep adding for beyond. Calvin Austin, Josh Reynolds, I could throw in. Tillman, I could throw in. Deontay Hardy, I could throw in. Butte, I kind of like. Trey Palmer, I kind of like. I don't think I'm going to need to go this deep. Justin Watson. He could be my 20th round pick here. I think I got Richie James, right? Yeah, getting old. I got Richie James. So I really don't need him as much. But, and then tight end, I've got 3, including 2 studs. So that is that. All right. We are back, and we're at 44 minutes of actual watching time. The draft has taken an hour and 15 minutes. So pretty quick draft. As I was saying, I'm a couple picks away. You could see who I have
up next
in the draft queue. I could take a chance that Heineke doesn't get drafted
now
till the
you
end.
are on the clock.
Because Zamir and Tucker are really good choices. I've got a lot more Zamir. And, again, I've got 2 quarterbacks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs. I could go to 7. In fact, I'm going to. They're the best 2 players on my board. Zamir White.
Now you are on the clock.
Sean Tucker. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wide receivers. I don't think I'm going to need them for flex all that often. I mean, it's not the greatest group in the world, but it's not terrible. I am going to take Tucker. Try and hit some home runs late at the running back position, but still matters. And then we will be back for the last pick. If Heineke's not there, I probably will go wide receiver. So I'm going to take Hall out. I'm going to take Travion out. I think I might add hold on. Really deep sleeper, someone from the Bengals for week 17. In fact, not a bad idea to look anyone else. Irwin, they added too many people. Iasovis is the only one I'd be interested in, not Charlie Jones. I like Irwin, but he ain't going to make it. But this is something I do at the end. Kansas City. I mean, is there anyone left? Justin Watson is still there. He certainly would be in play. Let's see. Kansas City plays Cincy. We already did that at wide receiver. Let's look at all for these teams. Kansas City. I guess you're getting bonus coverage of how I do this. Kansas City, no one else. Atlanta. Mac Hollins is already in there. All right. So we've got a bunch. All right. So really have taken advantage of this feature. 3:21, so an hour and 20 minutes draft, of which 47 minutes have been recorded. When you record, they only let you keep an hour of it. So that was kind of the genesis behind wanting to use this new feature. Again, I want to thank my friends over at the FFPC. I love this tournament. It's just so great. So many ways to play it. And I put my dollars where, what I tell you guys I love. I also like other sites, but, definitely looks like there might be some overlay in the Fantasy Pros Championship if you like season long. And, Mac Hollins and Taylor Heineke both make sense. I mean, the 1 week, when you go double tight end, you're going to be weak somewhere. And I knew that. I mentioned it. The weakness ended up being a little different than I thought. But the weakness is at a position where if Mahomes got hurt, I'm dead anyway. And you've got that big week 17 game. I mean, I'm counting on this team is counting on Patrick Mahomes to do Patrick Mahomes things. I've got Boyd coming back with Kelsey and Richie James.
You are up next.
Which is a little sneakier. I've got Ritter. So to me, to take Heineke, who I think could really unleash Kyle Pitts, is a no-brainer. It strengthens the weakest link, which is backup quarterback. That way, if Ritter gets benched or he gets hurt, possibly the better quarterback emerges. So unless this guy is going to snipe me hard, I've got a pretty easy decision here. If he does snipe me, Justin Watson, Mac Hollins, I would have less interest in Mac Hollins without guaranteeing me the quarterback in Atlanta. But let's wait. We got 14 seconds to wait. I guess this guy is going to run out the clock.
Now you are on the clock.
All right. Heineke made it. Pretty easy decision. And now the team is Mahomes, Ritter, and Heineke at quarterback. 7 running backs: Pierce, Sanders, Kamara, Gainwell, Spears, Zamir White, and Tucker. 7 wide receivers: Waddle, Elijah Moore, Sutton, Beckham, Boyd, Gallup, Richie James. The 2 big tight ends, Kelsey and Pitts, and Isaiah Likely. Still a little weak at wide receiver, obviously a little weak at second quarterback, But I like this team. I think this team could be really sneaky good. That is the end of the show, right at 50 minutes. I will see you guys.